this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so this is attempt number 2 because so I have to delete this. So what happened was the other stream that me and him tried to do, it crashed. It crashed. So this is attempt number 2, and if we can't get this to work, then we're gonna have to do the video thing, which is not fun. I'd rather do a live stream, which is the whole point of MeurerTV show. So hopefully, without any further interruptions, let's try again. So let's try again. So okay, well, let's try again. Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on my own stream as well, so in case if it does work. Any topics you want to bring up? I know it's been a few months because the last one we talked about the MLS and how, like, the MLS and other sports are coming back. This is the same case scenario. So,
you know what? Let's just talk about. Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the World Series?
Well, I kind of already talked about the World Series in my recap. I mean, I guess you want to talk about the World Series. Our first topic before was the playoff games in the MLS. I guess we can talk about that again.
Yeah, I would like to continue on that. So, as I was saying before,
don't forget that the stream crashed before. Remember?
Yeah.
We got to start over the conversation.
I know.
So
NYCFC is facing Orlando City, which is my team versus MJ23, aka Jordan's team. So I just want to see a good game between both teams. I just want to see very good offense and very good defense from my team. I just want us to really focus on how we're controlling the ball and just make sure that we have a good game. I don't want to see any players being kicked out of the game for absolute bullshit reason.
I know there was one bullshit circumstances back with
Nani.
Yeah, Nani. I'm sure you already know that story. I think our friend talked about this before.
Yeah.
So there was a slide, and because I think it might have been his second yellow. No, it wasn't his second yellow. It was actually his first yellow. But then the VAR was in place, and then they gave him an immediate red, which is if you ask me,
ejection.
If you ask me, that was a bit controversial to kick Nani out. First of all, he didn't even attempt to do it maliciously, and he was just trying to go after the ball. So,
and Nani is one of the best players on that team.
Yeah. Other than the controversy with that game against Columbus, I believe, this is a different Orlando City team altogether. Your team and Jordan's team came at the same year, called 2015. So if you think about it, with Orlando's first playoff appearance, this is like a former expansion team going at each other. Kind of like with my team, but the only difference between your team and my team is that my team is still an expansion team. This is our first year. And luckily, we made it to the playoffs with everyone's help, including your help. But you're facing a dangerous Orlando City team, and on a road, too. What are your thoughts, and what are you mostly thinking about that match?
Well, I'm nervous, definitely, for that match. I don't know what to expect at all. Let's see. Also, I just want to see a really good game. What's his name on the team? Orlando, not Nani, but Miller is his name, or the. I'm trying to think of who it is, but he has really fast pace. I can't remember who it is, but
It's Miller.
Yeah.
I think his jersey number is 4. I think it's that.
yeah, Mueller. Yeah.
Mueller is a dangerous threat on the Orlando side too. Those are the two players you got to watch out for. It's Nunny and Miller, but there are other dangerous threats in Orlando City team too. With MJ23's first year watching MLS, his team made the playoffs.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Years of doing the podcast, right, and a lot of hiatuses. I never really referred to the Inter Miami because it never really existed back then. But I did brought up the Miami teams, but never that strictly. We would strictly refer to the New York show.
Yeah.
Which it could still be because we just so happen to live in the area for now. Well, for me, at least for now. I know he's staying here.
I don't freaking want to, but I gotta listen to what my parents tell me.
It's all right. We all got to do our. We all got to
do our part. Yeah.
This is the phone case. Other than NYCFC playing against Orlando City, other playoff matches is happening. Our game is on November 20th against Nashville. It's a 9:00 p.m. game Eastern time, which is going to be on ESPN2. An expansion versus expansion team. It is a very interesting matchup to see, as we are going to be the underdogs. Now, before that, there is New England versus Montreal. New England is playing at Gillette Stadium, in which they are hosting the Montreal Impact. Saturday, like we discussed your team, there's another New York team that's also playing that day. The Red Bulls.
Against who?
Columbus.
Okay.
Thanks for calling us Ghost Striker Drip. Thank you for coming to the show. My name's James. This is William. Please subscribe.
No, that's my cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Brendan.
Hi, Brendan. How are you?
Yo, what's good, man? Yeah, that's his name on
Striker Drip. Nice.
On stream and on Twitch.
Striker Drip in the cut. LOL. I love it. I love it, Brendan. Welcome. Welcome. You should be our guest one day.
Yo, that would be sick. That would be.
Okay, so November 22nd is Kansas City, which is my friend's team in Missouri. Shout out to GamerBlue900 if you're watching this. Hi, Joe. Versus San Jose Earthquakes.
AKA Blues Nod team.
Hi, Blues Nod. Hope you're watching. Then it's Minnesota versus Colorado. That's a 7:30 p.m. kickoff.
Colorado Rapids.
I need to explain something with Colorado, right?
Uh-huh.
They had you're eating your freaking pizzas. I'm not having a conversation. Okay. So Colorado managed to sneak its way in there without playing much games because there was a COVID outbreak. Bluey 4498. Yo, guys. Hey, Bluey 448. How you doing, Dante?
What's up, Dante?
So the only reason why they made it to the playoffs was because of points per game. And if you ask me, to me, it feels like a robbery of Vancouver Whitecaps because they were playing good soccer, right, or good football.
Mm-hmm.
And Colorado didn't have much games to be played because of COVID outbreak. They had their matches postponed for about 4 weeks. As the majority of the month of October, I can think of. And somehow they made it to the playoffs.
How is that possible?
Points per game. It's bullshit.
How many points did they have per game?
They're definitely higher than Vancouver, which is bullshit.
Anyways, another topic that I would like to talk about is the NFL.
Okay. Also, one more point out is Portland versus Dallas and Portland for the MLS. Okay, so we want to talk about NFL?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a matchup tonight. Indianapolis Colts are taking on the Tennessee Titans. This is an interesting matchup because the Colts are 5-3, and the Titans are 6-2. They ever
6 viewer hype.
6 viewer hype. Nice. That's awesome. 6 people watching this. I love it. I love it when people watch it. Antonio, how are you, man? I haven't talked to you in so long.
Wait, isn't Antonio? Oh, it's him.
It's him.
Oh man. Hi, Antonio.
Joker 24/7.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
I got him and Anthony's names confused.
Yeah, well, all you gotta know about with Antonio is that he has a 7 at the end of Joker 24.
Anthony just has the 24.
Yep. Hi, James. How are you? James Fernando's here watching too.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, yeah, we have an interesting matchup: Colts versus Titans. Titans were once undefeated, but got their first loss against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it happened in Memphis, I think. No, not Memphis. Nashville.
By the way, to any Pittsburgh fans watching this, you are on freaking fire right now.
Yeah, the Steelers are having a season like they've never seen before.
Roethlisberger is something else right now. Because he just came back from, was it like an arm injury?
It was a shoulder tear injury. Yeah.
Okay.
He was out for the rest of that season last year.
Mm-hmm. But man, he's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Although the unfortunate part is, I think he has COVID.
Really?
Yeah. So that changes the game with other teams. So there's a big opportunity for the other team, but my prayers goes to Ben Roethlisberger and his family. Hopefully they have a speedy recovery. I changed my name. No more Joker 24/7. Okay, it's just Antonio Marks. Okay. My apologies for not doing the streams prior because I was busy with other things like trying to get my mental health in shape and moving upstairs. This is a brand new room altogether.
Yup.
And it's already a hot mess.
Let's talk about how about that Saints versus Buccaneers game?
That game was a disaster.
The New Orleans Saints 33-3 win against Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That was a sight to see.
Well, unless you're a Buccaneers fan, that was not a pretty sight.
Yeah.
Drew Brees versus Tom Brady match. Both of them are going to be in the Hall of Fame. There's no question they're going to be.
No questioning. I totally agree.
If you got to think of who's a better quarterback, there is that matchup right there: Drew Brees versus Tom Brady. Drew Brees trying to extend the record. Tom Brady just got destroyed. That was probably one of his worst games in his career. You got to think, right?
I mean, it's crazy how, I'm sorry I have to bring this up, the Atlanta game.
Okay.
How the freaking Patriots could be down 28-3 and then somehow get the clutch win. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
What year was that Super Bowl again?
Well, that was 2017.
2017. Okay. I'll never forget when the Philadelphia Eagles beat them. That was an amazing moment.
Brandon is saying, "One's in the house. I'm coming back to the Mirror League." Well, that's a bit of a not surprise. I was trying to keep that a surprise, but that works too. So now let's see here. Regarding the Saints game, right? That was like his best game of the year.
Didn't he score like 14 points in the first quarter and like 17 in the second? I don't even remember how many points he freaking scored in that game.
Okay, so
those 2 quarters.
Okay, so November 15th is the Sunday game. Of course, you already know that. Jaguars are playing against the Packers.
Okay.
That's your team playing. The Eagles are playing against the Giants. That's a rivalry game which nobody's going to want to watch because both teams are absolutely shit.
How about the Jets?
Texans versus Browns. Washington football team playing against Detroit Lions.
Okay.
Buccaneers looking for redemption against the Carolina Panthers. That's going to be in Charlotte. Broncos versus Raiders. Bills versus Cardinals. That's a great game to watch. Buffalo versus Arizona.
Yeah.
Seattle versus LA. 49ers versus Saints. Bengals versus Steelers. Chargers versus Dolphins. Sunday night game, Ravens versus Patriots.
Okay.
And on November 16th, which is my birthday, Vikings versus Bears.
Ooh, Minnesota versus Chicago. Okay.
Yeah, I think that your matchup with the Jaguars should be an easy one, right?
Yeah. The only thing that kind of got me annoyed is the 2 games before they won against the 49ers, because they they had a 5-0 start, and then they were lacking defense.
Well, they started the season 0-1, and then they come into New York twice to completely demolish both New York teams, so that's 2 wins.
Yeah.
Then they came back home, where let's see, in week 4 they played against the Eagles and they lost.
Yeah.
Week 5, they had their worst game of the season against the Dolphins, 43-17. That was also the same day. Unfortunately for Dak Prescott, he had his ankle injury that was so severe his season ended there.
And against Minnesota too.
No, that was against the Giants. It was not.
Oh wow. I hope Dak Prescott is recovering right now as you speak.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yep. Now, with the NFL, right? Who do you think is going to make the Super Bowl, judging how the season's going?
The Jets.
Let me explain something about the Jets. Okay. Yes, they're the worst team in the NFL, but you also got to keep looking at the positive, right? Yes, they're 0-9. They're going to be 0-10. They're probably going to be 0-16. But there could be a chance they could be a number one. They could have a number 1 overall pick. So that's a plus you got to look at.
Yo, I swear to you, if somehow the Jets get like freaking, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson.
Well, I think that's where they're going for, Trevor Lawrence from Clemson.
If somehow Trevor Lawrence goes to the Jets, that is going to be ridiculous.
Well, unless Adam Gase is still there.
Yeah, who knows?
If he's still there, they're screwed. They're still screwed. Because Adam Gase just can't coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, James. Number 1 pick. I suppose I should say something like, well, listen, I'm looking at what's there, right? So if they go 0-16, they guarantee a number 1 draft pick. If you're a fan of that team, you definitely do not want an 0-16 season. Nobody wants that. There's only two teams in NFL history that has gone to 0-16. Detroit Lions in 2008 and Cleveland Browns 2017.
Yeah. And somehow my brother and dad are fans of Detroit Lions.
So Adam Gase has to go. Yeah, he has to go. He has to leave the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, where is he going to go? Giants?
Please. Oh God!
Please. Packers?
No, I swear to you, if that freaking happens, I'm never watching my team again. Because that would just be a nightmare. A nightmare.
0-16.
Oh God! Don't even predict that.
I'm not. I'm just joking.
One thing. All right. Let's talk about the whole James Harden situation.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you know about the James Harden situation?
So, James Harden apparently has been ignoring the organization's calls for 2 weeks. That's all I know, and I just thought that he would just answer immediately, but I guess the playoffs really got to him. I don't.
The fact that he's been playing so well over the years, right? He's in his prime.
Yeah.
And the closest year he's got to the NBA Finals was
This year.
no, 2018, where he was one game short from going to the NBA Finals, only to get their dreams crushed by Warriors.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Let's not even talk about that spree that they had.
Warriors had their great dynasty here, and then last year they had their
Worst year ever.
their downfall.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant got hurt, signed with Brooklyn, along with Kyrie. But with Kevin Durant, he can't play until 2021 season. Which, speaking of which, that's a month. That's a month from next week.
Yeah, it's coming.
Yeah, the NBA season coming in a month and a week. So that's something to look forward to. The NBA. That's also something to keep us distracted from the crazy world we're living, known as the pandemic, which we will not talk about the pandemic. This is sports related only. But that's a distraction we should look forward to.
Yep.
So
I'm just excited to see if all the teams play in the NBA this year, because I honestly don't know what is going to happen with the NBA organization. I think depending on how everyone feels, like every player, like every coach, all that. Do you think this year all the teams will be back?
yeah, all of them are going to be back.
Okay.
I don't have a doubt in my mind they're going to come back.
Okay.
And yes, that includes the New York Knicks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we haven't seen the Knicks play since March.
That team is an absolute joke. Just an absolute joke.
Okay, I was going to say something positive, but there's that. Yeah, we haven't seen the Knicks play since March of 2020. Then you already know what happened. Then the bubble happened, and the Knicks weren't even there because there was no way for them to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Nets was there. Phoenix Suns were there too. Dallas was there. Milwaukee was there. Of course, they were there. Toronto was there.
OKC was there.
OKC was there. Houston was there.
Well, we all know who won the NBA Finals. We don't even have to mention.
Yeah, I already talked about that in the recap. Which, as painful as it was, I had to recap it.
The LA Lakers beat the Miami Heat 4-2.
Mm-hmm. Lakers in 6.
Yep.
As painful as it was, we gotta look at the positives, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the best seasons since 2014. Made it deep in the playoffs. Made it to the finals. Almost, they could have won it, but they got demolished from some of the games. But they bounced back. They showed some heart of the Heat culture.
I gotta say, Tyler Hero is a beast.
Yeah, with the performance he had, we're gonna see great things with Tyler Hero. You're not gonna want to miss out.
What are your thoughts on Bam?
And about him, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be a star.
Okay.
If he keeps playing like that, he's gonna be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Watch out for Bam on the buyout. Now, Giannis. Let's talk about Giannis, right?
Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has been on the Milwaukee Bucks for, I'm guessing, 3 years now?
Probably longer.
Yeah, probably longer. Giannis Antetokounmpo, if you don't know who he is, look him up. He can block shots like it's nothing to.
He can also dunk like it's nothing.
Yeah, he runs like the speed of light down that court.
Okay, well I wouldn't go that far as running down the speed of light, but he can fast. He can run really fast. He can dunk too.
Yeah, he can dunk like ridiculous. But yeah, there is a possibility that he will be going to Miami Heat.
After his contract is over, there's a huge chance he's going to go to the Heat, in which, if anything, that's a huge pickup. If anything, we hope that Jimmy Butler stays. Hopefully, the team that we have now, they stay there. Probably get rid of Jay Crowder, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
For Brooklyn, we got a star coming up, Kevin Durant, who comes originally from Seattle SuperSonics, and then that team relocated to Oklahoma City. Then he moved to the Warriors, which we already know that story, right?
Yeah.
And now he's in Brooklyn, in which he had to wait a year because of his Achilles injury.
Brooklyn.
Which if you want my bet, I'd say once they're healthy, the Brooklyn Nets, they can win big games. And if they can win big games, especially in the playoffs, right? Great. And if they can pick up another great player in the free agency, they're going to win the championship. That's my prediction.
You have players like DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving, Jarrett Allen, Kevin Durant. I'm trying to think of who else is on that team. But you have amazing players on that team. We actually did go to a Brooklyn Net game, and it was back and forth.
Yeah, it was against Charlotte Hornets. It was NBA Vlog episode 4. I miss those times when we super ground hopping. But we'll see what happens when the NBA season comes on December 22nd. With December 22nd, it's a 72-game season.
Okay.
Which the season ends in June, which is, if you remember prior to the hiatus, that was the original timeline.
Yeah.
And it's good to know that they're going back to that original set, in which that's smart. Go back to the original way, end the season in June, start in October. That's the normal I'm used to.
Yeah.
It was, speaking of normal that we're used to, the NHL is doing the same thing, but they're starting in January 1st, the new year.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that is as long as a break as the NBA. Let's see. The season ended in September, in which the Tampa Bay Lightning won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
My family was happy. They were pretty happy. They were really happy. That's their first title in 16 years.
Speaking of sports, when do you think Major League Baseball is starting?
Well, obviously, it's the regular schedule. So, with the hockey season, what are you mostly looking forward for hockey?
I know one thing that I'm looking forward to. Ground hopping.
There's that.
I'm also excited to see what the Rangers do. I mean, I don't really watch hockey as much, but I've definitely known of the Rangers for a while. My friend Darren, he's a huge Rangers fan. I remember one time that I celebrated with him and his family, and his whole so there's like tents where you have like setups for like birthday parties and stuff down at the lake in Pennsylvania. His whole setup, New York Rangers. Wow. Like plates, the tablecloth, like all that, cups, everything.
It's a diehard Rangers family.
Yeah.
And the Rangers are like known as the best team in New York. It's where that pride comes in. It's like the Islanders in Long Island.
Yeah.
So, with the Islanders, their pride goes to Long Island, not the city itself. That's the Rangers thing. Is they have the pride of the city.
Yup.
So there's that rivalry with those two teams, the heated one too.
Yeah.
Also, you can't mention the history too. The Rangers have 4 titles in their hands, but most of them were like long droughts.
Yeah.
But the Islanders, they won 4 straight in the '80s.
Wow.
Like the '80s, that was New York's best decade, and the '90s too. That was like their greatest decade too. If you had to choose one decade New York was fantastic in, like what's their best decade, what will it be? The '80s or the '90s?
I'd say both, but if I had to pick, probably the 90s.
I think so, the '90s too. The Islanders with their dynasty in the '80s, and the Mets winning it all in '86, and the Giants too. Although you can also say the Giants also won the Super Bowl in the '90s too.
Mm-hmm.
1994 was where it's at. 1994, the Giants made it to the playoffs, the Knicks made it to the playoffs, and the Rangers made it to the playoffs, and only one of 3 teams won the championship, and it was the Rangers.
Wow.
The Jets obviously stink, but let's see. The Islanders were still pretty good, and then with the hot team that was also still really good, the Yankees.
Yeah. Speaking of the Yankees, Garrett Cole, who was the pitcher, I mean, he had a decent season.
Yeah, it was all right. He lost 3 games, but then he bounced back.
Let's talk about how the Yankees. I feel like it's just that. Don't worry. Don't get me wrong. I'm a diehard Yankees fan, but I just feel like they lose their they lose their attention when it comes to the playoffs because
Wait, what are you talking about?
no they like let's say that you're tied like 4-4, right? And it's like the 8th or 9th inning, and then the other team hits a grand slam, and to end it I feel like the pitchers sometimes are just like losing their control of how they throw the ball, like just to make the other teams have a better chance.
You mean blowing the game?
Yeah, blowing the game. That's what I was saying. Yeah, there has been a lot of that with the Yankees for like the past couple of years or so, right?
No way. That's the other team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You got it all mixed up, bro.
I want to talk about rugby.
Wow, that's an interesting topic to talk about. I didn't expect you to say that. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Let's just talk about it like in general, like for people that don't know, rugby is like football, like the NFL, but except without pads or anything. Like you're just running from one side of the field to the other, throwing a huge ball, like throwing it like a spiral, like sideways, and then like it's just that you need to have the pace to like really to really run and to Speaking of rugby, we actually went to a game once at in fact Brooklyn Cyclone Stadium.
That was the only rugby game we ever attended, and
Yeah.
certainly will not be the last.
No doubt.
With me, I intend to attend more.
I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind either. I would like to attend more because, one, rugby really caught my freaking eye, especially with rugby going around. And then you saw the words Major League Rugby. I'm like, okay, what is that? I looked it up. It's American rugby.
Yeah.
Anything with Major League is American, or national something, and then league.
Yeah.
It's America. Then
For example,
it's
National Football League, National Basketball Association, like all those other sports that are popular.
yeah. It's amazing to know that they're trying to expand the audience and the sport itself to North America.
Speaking of rugby, did they announce any new teams as of lately?
Yeah, they did actually. They announced it back in spring and summer.
Okay.
And I will actually tell you too. So let's go to Major League Rugby website. And so with this season, right, we lost one team. That's the Colorado Raptors, which is unfortunate what happened with Colorado. My thoughts goes to the people in Colorado.
That was tragic.
Yeah, they had the. It's just a shame. So this season, we have 3 new teams, right? New England Free Jacks, Old Glory DC, which is Washington DC, and Rugby Atlanta.
Okay.
Next season, we're getting 2 new teams.
Okay.
And I will tell you right now, if I can find it. Nice yawn. Okay. One is going to be in Dallas, named the Dallas Jackals.
Okay.
The other one, LA Giltiness.
Okay.
That's 2. So one in LA and one in Dallas. So it should be an interesting season because we got more teams. We got more teams expanding. More people are going to want to watch rugby.
Yeah.
So, and they even made some great partnerships with CBS, which is a great addition to their sport. Especially not just for us in America, but for the entire globe to watch it. Rugby is a big deal in New Zealand. It's also a big deal in South Africa. 2 countries in Australia too. 3 countries. Rugby is a huge deal in Wales. Don't forget about England and Wales. That's a big topic.
I would also like to talk about the tragic news that we got.
Tragic L from what game?
No, the tragic news for the Staten Island Stadium.
Yeah, what happens is they're getting rid of the Staten Island Yankees, in which they cannot super ground hop there unless there's a new team.
That just made me like when I saw the image that he sent me, I was like, no way. Like, you don't know how completely in utter shock we are, because like we went there a lot, and I mean a lot, for the games, for the friggin' fireworks afterwards. Oh my god!
So it was our childhood.
Like it was like 100%. It was our childhood. I remember just going to the games, having a blast. Like I remember when my grandpa used to take me to those games. Like it's just so insane how much this world can turn upside down.
This year has turned upside down.
Yeah, completely.
And I don't like it.
I didn't like it from the start. I did not like it from the start. I mean, January was okay, I guess, but
January and February were good months, in the first part of March.
Yeah, but then it just went downhill.
Yeah,
I don't even want to talk about it.
yeah. Let's not talk about it. Back to rugby. Our season starts in March, which is where we're going to watch. I'm personally gonna watch more rugby games. The XFL is going to start in 2022. AEW is getting their video game, in which, to answer your question, Antonio, I think the game was magnificent. I want to buy it.
Who's on the cover?
I don't know yet. Right now they're doing some tests with AEW video game. It's kind of like a WWE 2K.
Okay.
In which the last time they tried that, it was garbage. It kind of looked like a crackhead with no eyeballs coming out.
Oh my god. What else can we talk about? You know what? I actually had a topic that I wanted to talk about.
Okay, what is it?
How music has changed our lives.
Music?
Yes. Well, for example, music has changed my life because I love listening to music, no matter what type, no matter what time of day it is. Hell, sometimes I listen to it at 1 o'clock in the morning because I feel like it. No matter what type, no matter what genre it is, no matter what artist it is, I love music.
I was up the 2 nights ago, right? I was up till 2 in the morning just listening to music.
I mean, music's soothing, man.
Yeah, it's pretty much the cure.
Yeah. In which, God, if music was not invented, I don't know what our life would be right now.
Peter Carnival said, "What's your favorite artist?"
Pete Carnival. My favorite artist. Jeez, that's a hard one. I actually have a lot of favorite artists, but I'll give you my top 3.
Okay.
Green Day.
Okay.
Slipknot. And Post Malone.
Wow, that's great 3. That's a great top 3.
I mean, I've loved Green Day ever since like I was like 8 years old, because my dad had the American Idiot CD, and that was the first time I've ever listened to that band. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, wow, this music is amazing. Like, I actually want to start to get into this band. And I've been into this band ever since I was a little kid. And now, next year, I'm seeing them live at Citi Field in the very front, in which I am freaking insanely excited about.
Sounds like a lot of fun. You know, the last time I went to a concert, right? It was involving a band called Linkin Park. That was my favorite band.
Oh my god. Chester Bennington.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about what happened with him.
Yeah. But Linkin Park has definitely made some amazing music. Oh yeah, and I can't forget about Papa Roach and Paramore. Those two are insanely good bands. Let's see. How about you?
For me, oh gosh, so when I was in middle school, I used to like this '80s band called Depeche Mode.
Okay.
I haven't listened to their songs in years because I grew into Slipknot when I got into high school, and then I grew into other musics along the way during my high school years, like Avicii. So I liked him. He has some good songs.
I grew up. No, my brother showed me Paramore, I believe, back in like 2016 or 2017. I don't remember how long ago it was, but I think their music is great. They have some really good, like, heavy stuff that I like. And Hayley Williams is the perfect fit for that band. She's an amazing singer.
I also like Skillet.
Skillet is good, yeah. Speaking of Slipknot,
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw them live.
Yeah, you're lucky. I wanted to go see.
And oh my effing God. Just everything about that concert was just... So just imagine like a giant war tank just shooting off a giant, like a machine. Like that's how insane it was from start to finish. Like those guys are just insane. They don't even care on stage. Like they'll play until the crack of dawn if they wanted to.
My favorite band is Slipknot and Killswitch, Engaged, and Nirvana. That's Antonio Marks telling his favorite bands.
Ooh, what's your favorite Slipknot song?
Well, that's what Willie would like to know. Favorite Slipknot song. Mine would be like, gosh, before I forget, Duality, Psychosocial, Disaster Piece, Everything Ends, Dead Memories.
My favorites are The Devil and I, Soul Firth.
I like Sulfur too.
Yeah, Sulfur is amazing. People Equal Shit. I like that song. I also like Wait and Bleed. Now, the difference between Joey Jordison and Jay Weinberg is that both are incredible drummers. But I feel like Joey Jordison was just like he was a demon on stage. Like he literally would just like go ridiculous on stage. Same with Corey Taylor, who is the lead singer of that band.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Sid Wilson, who's the DJ. What are the odds of a DJ being in a heavy metal band? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Red Paul Gray. That's Peter Carnival's comment.
Yeah. When that happened, like the crazy thing is Corey knew him before even joining Slipknot. Like they've been best friends growing up probably. And watching a singer lose someone who has been so close to them for so long, and like just hearing that they died, it just puts them on a different level.
All Out Life is his favorite song.
Oh, that's a great song. That is a great song. I totally forgot about that song, if I'm being honest. Another band that I really like is... I have so many favorites. Oh my god. My brother and I, my first concert actually was Blink-182 at PNC in Jersey, and it was a really good concert. But the band that I really want to see again is, well, obviously Green Day. I'm already seeing, but like the other band that I really want to see live again is U2.
Right.
That band is really good. U2 is a Irish. They are U2 is an Irish rock and roll band. They're from Dublin, Ireland. They make very, very good music. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about music.
One thing to know about music is that it's a cure for your depression.
100%. Hey, sometimes I'm down, but you know, listening to music in general just helps me. No matter what type of music it is, it just gets me going.
Peter Carnival's asking Misfits.
Yes. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about this song, Pulse of the Maggots.
There you go, Pulse of the Maggots.
That's a good song. I think Slipknot's best albums are All Hope Is Gone and what's the other one called? Volume 3 with Duality, Vermilion, and Before I Forget.
That's a 2004 album.
Yeah. All Hope Is Gone is the 2008 album.
MeurerTV show episode 2 is at 51 minutes in. We are approaching the time where we have to wrap things up. So if you want to talk about something else before the 60th minutes, put into some topics that you would like to talk about. Any conversation you'd like to talk about, we will try to talk about as best as we can until the 60th minute, which is an hour mark. And that's when the hour mark comes. That's when we have to wrap up the MeurerTV show.
Yep.
I love how, remember the old days where we used to do this, where we no breaks. Well, I'm wrong. There was a break.
Yeah.
There was part 1, then there was part 2.
Yeah.
With this show, it's completely different. Every episode we have a different guest. Like the last time was MJ23 and Blues Night. We were talking about the MLS.
Wait, what did he say?
Let's see. The last AEW pay-per-view. Okay.
Well, I didn't watch it, but he did.
Oh, gosh. Let me tell you something. Out of all the pay-per-views I watched this year, I think the last great one was AEW Revolution. Not that Double or Nothing and All Out was not good. They were great pay-per-views. This Full Gear, best pay-per-view of the year. It's almost as good as AEW Revolution. Revolution, that was the best pay-per-view of the year. And that single pay-per-view, those 2 pay-per-views alone, top-notch all other pay-per-views WWE has produced. Even the NXT TakeOver.
I have not been watching WWE like on my TV, but I have been watching the highlights. And every time I watch the highlights, I just laugh.
It's terrible.
Because it's that bad.
It's terrible.
For example, let's talk about. I have so much freaking rivalries that I could talk about right now. Let's talk about the Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Oh gosh, no.
Brock Lesnar literally just threw him down like a pancake.
My favorite match is Kenny versus Paige. No, you know what? I had some favorites. There's 2 matches three. And these are my favorites of the match. Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. That match was gruesome. Oh man.
Yeah, I saw like highlights of that, and I was like, oh my god, Matt Hardy was freaking using fireworks on Sammy Guevara.
It's you know what I call it, a Snapchat?
What?
I call it Call of Duty firework warfare. Second match, this is my second favorite. Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes. Let me tell you something about that match. If they didn't put the belt on Darby, right? There's a problem with AEW. They're not going to start watching the show anymore because the way how they're trying to portray, Cody as like the top babyface, and that's fine. But when you have like an authority being a champion, that would not be better than WWE. But no, AEW made another right call to put the belt on Darby Allin, which to me or not to me, but to the AEW community, Darby Allin is a fan favorite. There's no question he's a fan favorite. He's one of the fan favorites next to, like Kenny Omega, John Moxley, and Dr. Britt Baker. She's also a fan favorite. There's so many other AEW wrestlers that are like fan favorites, but there's the number one name on that list is Darby Allin. And what a great booking right there.
I feel like with AEW, like they put the belt on the right people, but with WWE, they just put it on the wrong people.
They put it on random people. And this is a fun fact, right?
Yeah.
In singles competition with men, Darby Allin is the first male wrestler singles, because I know there's somebody else that is the first. And there's nobody, Darby Allin will not be the first, but with the singles run, he's the first male superstar, not ex-WWE, not from WWE, to win a championship in AEW. Quote, not from WWE.
That's crazy, because John Moxley, also known as Dean Ambrose,
is a champion. Chris Jericho was champion.
Yeah, Chris Jericho.
Both of them former WWE superstars.
Cody Rhodes, a.k.a. Stardust, also.
Yeah, nobody likes Stardust.
Yeah.
So
I hate that gimmick.
So he won the championship twice. He's a two-time champion. Luke Harper, a.k.a. Brody Lee, was champion. So
I forgot about Luke Harper.
So they were all, except for Darby Allin, they were all former WWE superstars. Darby Allin's the first one in singles competition to win it. Want to know who's the first ever AEW star to win a championship altogether? That is not from WWE.
Who?
Riho. And that's first ever women's champion.
Oh.
In fact, none of them were from WWE. Now, a male superstar, right, that won an AEW title. Not Christopher Daniels, because he was in WWE in the late 90s, I believe, or early 2000s. I forgot which one, but I'm pretty sure it's the late 90s. He was a former WWE superstar. Scorpio Sky, he was never in WWE. He's the first one. He's the first male superstar to win the title. And they're in that SCU tag team.
SCU.
Mm-hmm. Then after that, there's Hangman Page and Kenny Omega win the title. I like that booking. Then they lost it to FTR, in which it became a classic between them and at Full Gear, which is a very entertaining match to watch. So I love AEW. So I have what it takes to watch all of them now, because because this TV is a smart TV. Sky was in WWE one time. Really, I want to know the research. I could be wrong, but
what do you think of Miro?
Oh wow. So Miro is an interesting topic too, because when he wanted to be in the WWE, he was promised a main event of WrestleMania if he had to go through that storyline with Lana and Bobby Lashley. That's what I found out the other day.
Really?
Yeah, that's why he stayed in WWE. But of course, that promise never happened. You know why? Because WWE was trying so hard to keep wrestlers in the WWE so that they don't go to AEW.
That rivalry was just god awful.
It was terrible.
It was so stupid.
It was probably the worst feud I've ever seen in 2019. Right now with WWE, the greatest thing going on with WWE right now is the Roman Reigns heel turn.
Yes, that's the
only great thing that's going on right now.
That's the only thing.
Everything else is garbage.
I swear to you, if Roman Reigns decides to turn babyface, in the next couple of weeks, I'm done.
Yeah, no. Keep him as heel. People wanted him as heel for a long time.
One thing, let's wrap it up with this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the Bludgeon Brothers. Remember when they were a thing?
Yeah, that of course that got buried. But to be fair, Rowan had a shoulder injury that he had to repair, and
Yeah.
they had to drop the belts to the New Day, in which I was there for, believe it or not. That happened at the Barclays Center. They were supposed to drop the belts at SummerSlam, but there was a DQ. Which was, forget about that SummerSlam. Also, this SummerSlam was not that good either. Of 2020, the only great thing about this SummerSlam was the ending, which was the Roman Reigns coming out. That was the best thing about it. Antonio said the Bloodline is the next tag team champion. Are they the NXT ones? I could be wrong.
Anyways,
but
it's hit an hour and 30 minutes and 30 seconds now.
Yep, we have reached an hour mark, which unfortunately we have to wrap it up. So, if you like what we're doing, please be informed every Thursday. I'm going to try every Thursday, depending on the schedule. Thursday, 5 o'clock 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's not Fridays anymore. It's going to be Thursdays. So come on down on Thursdays, watch the stream. We're going to talk about everything else like we did today. We have so much fun doing it. And every week we're going to have a guest. There's always going to be another guest. William can come back in whenever he wants to.
Or it could be me, you, and Blues Knock.
There you go. Yeah, we could do that too.
All right. That's going to wrap it up here, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And we will see you guys next time.
We will see you guys next time. Episode 3. We will talk about MLS. MLS, we have some great things to talk about. You know? I'll see you guys next time on Miami Sports Recap of the Week, which is on Sunday. It's always going to be every Sunday at nighttime, or morning time, depending if another team is playing on Sunday, which is, the Dolphins. But yeah, that's going to do it for tonight, all right?
Yep. See you guys.
All right, stay safe. MeurerTV.
And William B. Signing out, guys.
Signing out. Peace.
Dude, that was